People who have left third world countries for first world countries. What surprised you the most about life in first world countries? I am from Asia and living in the UK. Was surprised about the social responsibility towards the environment. Rivers were generally clean and well maintained. That and people didn't have bowler hats and no one traveled via horse carriage like the TV said. There is toilet paper in most public bathrooms. My mom still carries toilet paper in her purse when she comes to visit me and we go out. That is just good sense. Nothing worse than using a public stall and there being no toilet paper. If you get unlucky with the timing of the cleaners, you are screwed. How people can just openly criticize their governments without fear of repercussions. I always thought it was incredible that there were so many late-night hosts who would talk crap about politicians and would not be in any danger with the law. If I tried even a fraction of what they said, I will be having a very interesting time with the police. You talk shit on Twitter, boom, you are arrested for insult to the president. Welcome to Turkey. Yeah, like the old Reagan joke about the American and Russian talking. American. The US is the greatest country in the world because I can go right up to the White House and scream that I don't like how Reagan is running the country. Russian. I can do the same thing. I can go right up to the Kremlin and say that I don't like how Reagan is running his country. How many things are free? Like cups, plastic utensils, condiments, matches, napkins. You can go to a gas station and ask for matches and they will give them to you. For free. Community dinners. Random donuts brought into the office. Pizza. Random lunches. People offering you free rides. Etc. Food banks. So many things are just given to you if you know how to look. Perfectly good couches left on the street. Desks. Etc. Go to the free section on Craigslist to see what I mean. The whole pick a penny, leave a penny thing blows my mind till today. Free money. Can you imagine that? People are literally leaving money for other people just because of the inconvenience of change. It's mind-boggling. I know someone in that situation. She is mostly surprised that people actually follow traffic rules. Give right-of-way to peasants. Things like that. I think you meant pedestrians, but I will now also be referring to them as peasants. A lot of my family are blown away by supermarkets. Where they are from, you have to wait in lines for hours to get to the grocery store and there's no guarantee they will actually be food once you get to the front of the line. On a lighter note, they are also really surprised by how common lawns and yards are and hate them with a passion. According to them, they are useless, take up valuable space, and are far inferior to courtyards. They are useless, take up valuable space. That's actually how they came to be. Rich people would grow grass to show off that they had so much land. They could afford to have useless space. Similarly, I heard that in North Korea, owning a dog is a big status symbol. You have enough money to buy food for another member of your household by choice. I was living in Ukraine and never traveled abroad before I turned 24. Then I moved to Dubai and lived there for 5+ years. Here are things that amazed me. Was shocked that roads without potholes exist. You can eat any fruits and vegetables without seasonality. Quality of apartments and especially how nice and tidy are common areas before apartments. Loans with low interest rates. Safety. I don't have to hide my phone every time I get into the public transport. People smile back to you. Actual addresses. I can just use Google Maps to find a location and have instructions on how to get there. I can even receive mail. Mind-blowing. The amount of food that goes to waste and also how much plastic there is in supermarkets. Everything comes wrapped and only the perfect produce is displayed. Going to a supermarket in general is a whole experience. So many brands. So much variety. Incredible. The most important for me. Feeling safe. I can have my phone in my hand by walking down the street. I can walk on my own. At night, I can trust a cop if something happens. People actually stop and help you if you need help. Just feeling like I am not going to get killed, robbed or raped is great. Yeah, that blows my mind too. I had to ship some equipment from the US to a third world country and the address was something like 100 meters south of Jose's gas station in San Pedro. When you are hungry, there is food. Local TV station did its yearly 4th of July interview of new citizens and interviewed a guy who was just naturalized why he chose to become an American and he responded, I want to live in a country with fat poor people. My dad was very surprised the military does not force you to join or have random groups to kidnap for their own military groups. Also, my cousins were surprised helicopters can be used for things other than weapons. Edit. America is not perfect, but I'm happy we don't have to endure the harsh reality of war and can escape it. Out of curiosity, where are you from? El Salvador. There was a civil war where certain troops would kidnap, force young men to join. I am happy I was not born during that, and I am grateful. Social safety nets Canada. Not a huge difference in the services available in a small town versus a big city. How well pets are treated here. First time I traveled to the UK, I prepared for everything. Vaccinations, local contact numbers, things to do in case of emergencies, backup money and plastic so that I don't get mugged, some home food, spices which I assumed won't get in the UK, an electric rice cooker, thought I had it covered, landed in Heathrow and went to the washroom. That's when I realized I didn't teach myself how to use toilet paper. My cousin hired a dude from Africa as a mechanic. One day, while they were working, he told my cousin that he got his first pair of shoes as payment after clearing a whole field, and when he got them, they didn't fit. When my cousin heard this, he took him out after work and bought him a very nice pair of boots. Edit. People seem hung up that I don't remember the exact country he is from. Sorry. Also, my cousin didn't give him boots instead of a nice paycheck. He just felt he deserved a nice pair of boots and knew he was not in a position to spend that kind of money on himself, so it was just a bonus. He is an awesome and incredibly humble guy. German here, with Syrian roommate. He was surprised that the mobile internet is way worse than in Syria. I was really surprised that the people don't eat as healthy as I did back home. Almost instantly I put on 5 kilograms because my body was not used to it. I have spent some time in West Africa. One thing that surprised me was talking to a very well-paid employee of an oil company wanting to move to live in a not-so-great European country. Since he worked offshore, he would keep his job, but didn't want to live in his home country anymore. When asked about why I am an immigrant myself, he asked me when was the last time I had a power cut at home. It would have been well over a decade then. It was an everyday affair for him. Sometimes it's things that we don't even notice. I live in South Africa and we regularly get load shedding. This means the country's power grid cannot supply the electricity demand, so they literally switch off certain areas for 2.5 hours per turn. We have schedules so you know when you have to work around not having power, etc. Not me, but my best friend. How much cheaper everything is. iPhones, most popular clothing brands, beauty products, electronics are mostly imported and triple the price in their home country. 10 years ago, I arrived in Australia. The first thing I notice is the smell. It's so fresh. It's nothing like I ever smelled in the first 18 years of my life. It smells like freshly showered, baked, bloomed flowers. I can't even describe it. It smells earthy good. I am from the Philippines. The fact houses came complete. I come from Brazil. That the houses come all empty when you buy them. No kitchen, laundry, anything. You have to buy everything. I am not sure if this has changed or not since I have moved to America a long time ago. Another thing, safety. I almost died twice in Brazil and my mother could not use her cell phone or calmly walk out of a bank or even drive with her purse out in the next seat. Everything had to be hidden or you could be robbed or even killed. Whenever I go to Brazil to visit, I always get tense and I get panic attacks because of the violence. Also didn't help the fact that I lived in one of the most, if not the most violent state. I am not from a third world country, but I spent a few years living in one. One thing that struck me when at home was how empty our streets are. Out in the suburbs where I live, you very rarely see people walking about. Over there, people were always walking about no matter where in town you were. Fishing as a recreational activity was considered a behavior. Multi-generational living was the norm. Freedom of speech. The freedom that you can raise your voice on any matters without a fear of being arrested, being followed and monitored 24/7, or even worse, beaten to death. Guess where I am from? Strangers would say hello to you when you're walking down the street. In China, people usually think only psychopaths say hello with smiley face to a stranger. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe, it really helps promote the channel.